hopefully this works, and welcome to a back office design stream. I'm going to be making a mega USB thing in a moment, but first I'm eating some of these Japanese jellies which have not one but two sad onions on them. So that's a really interesting one. I think I'm going to take a picture of this. I'm going to tweet this to Stuart Ashen. I think he needs to be aware of this. So yeah, no, that was a Wolfram random music generator to have some royalty-free music, as you can imagine. I don't want to get YouTube spammed, so we've taken to things that generate the music automatically. In fact, if you watch a back office video, there's a piece of music at the end where it shows the patron wall. That's actually randomly generated, believe it or not. I'm just sending the tweet now. If you find my tweet and you give it a thumbs up, then I will put one of these sad onion treats aside for you. Hello, Neil. Copyright claim. Did you copyright claim my freestyle jazz? I'm gonna jump across again. So bear with me because I'm just Wolf from music. I'm just going to just finish some work up, and then we're going to start something properly. Give me a minute. Oh, you made my phone go off. Right, should we do some guitar? I'm going to give some guitar 30 seconds. There you go. Enjoy. Okay, tweet sent. Doesn't sound like guitar, does it? Hey Becky, hey Baza. Right, Edwin, we're going to begin now. I'm just going to look at this. There's no two ways about it. It's a heart-shaped jelly, and the only way I've discovered you can eat them is this way. Bit slurpy. Slurp it down in one go like an oyster. Right. No more messing. Time to have a look in my YouTube shopping basket. I'm going to try to make it a bit bigger. How do we make this bigger? Now, if you want, basically the premise of this design stream is to design the ultimate in USB container, I say containers, charging adapters. Because I don't know about you, I never have enough. And I want to design one that's just massive, basically. So let's see how we do this. Okay, that kind of works. So in your shopping basket, you're going to need the following components. So you're going to need, I'm getting distracted here because I've got a video playing in the corner. You're going to need a DC switch mode power supply. Okay. And I've opted for the 5 volts 10 amps. So whichever one it is, it has to be at least 10 amps, because remember, each USB port will draw at least 600 milliamps as standard, but there are configurations where we can make them draw more than that. So it depends what you want to, what's likely, basically, you want to use. We're going to go to Seller Beauforco, and we're going to get some polyfuses, resettable polyfuses, which are sort of like a bit like radial caps, and they will reset after they exceed their loading. So if you want to be totally USB legit, you could go for the 600 milliamp ones. But there are, again, say USB standards which do allow for higher outputs, and the difference is, if you short the D plus and the D minus, I believe that will configure your device to provide one power mode. And if there's some various combinations of resistors, and they're all like, each manufacturer has their own secret source for that, can deliver more. So you'll need the appropriate fuse for that. But go for 600 to start with. Edwin, no worries. We'll basically catch up later. And then I'm going to go to LED Essential, and I'm going to buy some USB horizontal sockets. So that's your standard USB horizontal socket, just like you've ever seen. And you might want vertical socket in your design, and you're going to get 10 of those. And these MOSFETs were some other project. So ignore those MOSFETs. So knock off like £3.60 off the price, and then that's how much it costs to make a full 10-port USB there, about 20 quid. But if you actually add another £4, you could get another 10 ports. You could easily just double these up, basically. That power supply is good for at least 15 of those. So I don't know, you could have a 15-port USB. I like the idea of also having an ammeter in there somewhere. So basically, we're going to see what we can do. We've got all these versions of Eagle. Let's see which one actually runs. Boom. Becky, the problem with the ATX power supply, what's the actual current output on it? Is it decent enough for this? Ah, a what? Autodesk. My Autodesk stuff is basically kicking me out of everything at the moment. Apparently, I've got to configure my bloody two-factor authentication in Eagle. Let's get that out of the way. Right. I think my Autodesk Fusion account has got a problem as well, last time I checked. Dismiss. Right, Eagle has come up. The Eagle has landed. Oh, 22 amps. Becky, that's more than enough. You could run like 20 USB ports from that one. So, Autodesk Eagle. I'm just going to set this up. Problem is, since I've redone something with Eagle, I think it's basically cocked itself up. I know it's a bit of dilly-dallying before the event, but this is a stream, isn't it? You're welcome to chat to me while I'm messing around, because we're going to be here a while. If we're going to design this properly, I just need to protect my work. Let me say, media, non-video projects. Work, back office show. Right, good. Just got a little path change, that's all. Just got a little path change. Get that in there. Boom. Get that in there. Boom. Right. No. Almost done. Dagnammit. What, it keeps going to the wrong bloody folder for some reason. Anyway, let's just ignore that. New project. And we're going to call this the Mega USB. My phone is going mental. Mental, chicken oriental. Let's turn that off. Right. Open project. Becky, I haven't checked. I did see that there were a bunch of answers for that, and I will need to check that one. So here we go. We're going to go into our library. I'm just going to make sure we can all see everything. So I'm going to go into Library Manager. Let's make this a little bit smaller. So you boys and girls at home who want to learn a bit of Eagle. I don't know. Actually, that's fine full screen, isn't it? It's fine full screen. Moderate your chat over the chat screen. So if we connect here, open library. You can tell it's been a while since I've used this again, so we don't actually want to load library manager. It's one of these things here. They've changed everything. So we go to add. What's a DE10 Nano FPGA? Oh, I see what you mean. It's an FPGA. The problem is, Bazza, I've got so many of those bits and bobs. I don't think I can face another dev. Yeah, another dev kit. Now, what's that USB called that we want? Something like that, like. Check the footprint. Again, if you're buying stuff off eBay like this, the chances are you won't get an actual design of the footprint. So it probably, you can see this one down here, it's probably a bit like that with the 4 pins in a row. So we need to find, so that's a mini USB. We just need to find what we want. I don't know why these things are called mini USB shields. So Cypress, is that something with a Yamachichi? Those were looking quite close. Come on, please be a bloody footprint for this. So what do you think, Becky? A mouldy banana skin would make a suitable prize, would it? Ah, there we go. Berg. Boom. So we've got our USB ports. Polyfuse next. Fuse. Give us a fuse. Now, because of the way the nature of a polyfuse, now bring one up now for you. Because of the nature of the polyfuse, you can see it's pretty compliant, really. You don't have too many issues. The difference in the different rating of the fuse, you can see it's got slightly different footprints, like they can be really wider or narrower. So if we just put a fairly standard hole, I think we'll be okay. Most of those would do, to be honest, but let's just see. They might have one which has a picture that looks a bit like what we're trying to put in. Dun, 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 dun. If not, we'll just see like those resistors like that. I mean, that's all probably going to be fine as well. Let's go through. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've seen the one I'm going to use, which is that one. Should we try that one? Can always change it later. Right, so we've got the fuse, we've got the USB plug, and that's pretty much it, to be honest with you. We kind of want some terminals. So you've got your big ATX power supply, but really at this current, you probably just want to solder it straight on. So we could probably add it as a pad. If we can remember how we add a pad here. I think there are actually some solder pads ready to go. Ooh, yeah, baby. Look at that one. Boom and boom. So the only thing left to do is find the pin out for the USB. So we need to know which pins. I'll tell a lie. Are we going to add some LEDs, guys? Do you want an LED? Of course you do. An LED and a resistor. So Becky, yeah, Eagle is definitely my preferred design software. I keep getting told to use some of these other free things, but at the moment I can't be bothered to just invest the time to learn them. So I'm going to go into the old through-hole resistor as well. Remember, this is just basically a tiny LED, so you don't need a massive one. Okay, there's your resistors. Have we got everything else? What else do we need? And I'm going to keep some resistors spare, which are kind of not connected resistors, but we'll need those later, basically. Hey, Dutch Retro Gamer, welcome. We're going to need those resistors for potential power mode for the USB. So the next thing we do is we go to USB pinout, and let's have a look. We're going to go just to the standard sort of website, and you can see the USB pinout. So let's go to this Hobbytronic one. Looks good. And you can see the cable 1, 2, 3, 4, and pins 1 and 4. So 4 is ground, 1 is 5 volts. 4 is ground, 1 is 5 volts. So we're going to go to a wire here. And again, 4 is ground, and 1 is 5 volts. And you can see I'm just putting all the labels on stuff now ready to me to go in a sec, which is probably about now. Is that right? Here we go. So 5 volts. Gund. Gund. I'm going to put an F. Let's see, F1 5V. F1, can we put a dash? Right, so you're going, why have I got F1 5V there? The reason is, hey Andrew, how's it going? Anybody, but Andrew, are you up for a chat on the stream, or are you busy today? So the reason I have it on F1 5V is because I do want to put a fuse. So there's two options. Either you place the fuse in line into your drawing, right? And you just put your 5V on the one side of the fuse, or you do what I'm doing here and you could separate it out totally. It's up to you. You've seen in the past, I'm quite partial to drawing things with all my signals nicely laid out like that separately, because you want to, it's like software. You want to be able to design your stuff so that you can go in later. So I would normally put like this: 5 volts in, F1, so fuse 1, 5 volts out. I mean, that's, and these will logically be connected up by the time you go to the schematic mode. But I appreciate that might not be everybody's cup of tea, and because we're going to be cutting and pasting this 10 times over, okay, that could get a bit tedious. So what I'm going to do is I will design it the other way, where everything is drawn on kind of quite explicitly. So I'm going to go like, we're going to get the ground up that way, and I'm going to get this down that way, and you'll see why I'm doing this in a moment. Let's get that way. In fact, we could do, that's kind of cute if we do it that way. Right, and then I'm going to move this fuse, F1, I'm going to bolt it on. You can see it's bolted on because when I move it, it puts the green leader line to show you that happening. No, Andrew says he can join the chat. I'm just going to bring on board the old stream chat. And we're going to test this out. I haven't used it for a while, so I'm not sure where the voice goes and what you can hear and what you can't hear, but I'm sure when Andrew joins, we'll tweak that. So now we've got the data lines that normally maybe join together depending on the configuration. And remember, we're not sure whether or not we want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a resistor, and we're going to put a resistor. It doesn't bloody fit nicely because of the way resistors dimensioning are. And we're going to put this R6 here.
I have no idea what you're doing. It's beyond me.
Oh, Mr. Dalton. Right.
Hello.
Let me ensure. So say something.
Hello. I should be there because I can see my voice appearing on your screen.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is the new
The
trendy.
Discord integration with OBS.
Right, I'm going to move that down so it's not hiding our controls in. There we go. Yeah, underneath the controls. Excellent. So, Mr. Dalton, I'll tell you what this is because you are like the straight man today. in our
Ah,
in our quest. Basically, this is the beginnings of a design of a module. And I might, what Becky and Dutch Retro Gamer could correct me. I'm going to make it modular so that you can keep adding it in blocks of like 5 or 10 USB ports. Imagine your very own mega USB charger that can have like 15 USB sockets for charging everything at once.
okay. And will it charge at the higher, faster voltage
It
as well as the
can
lower voltage?
indeed. So I'm designing it so it can do all the different trickeries. So that's what all these resistors are for, basically. And I'm going to just bring that up. It's a very good point you raise, because we need to get those specs. So, because like Samsung and Apple and all these people, they had their own ones for it, basically. So we're going to
Right.
allow all the different combinations. So when, yeah, so Becky says, so a hub then. Yeah, pretty much. USB current. So how's it been going with you, Mr. Dalton? How's life
Ah,
treating you?
it's been fine. It's been fine. Just work's being busy, and I finally bit the bullet yesterday, and I mucked out my office.
Oh, what did you do that for?
I just wanted to get it done because I got some new monitors as well, so I wanted to rearrange my desk. So
Okay. And is that, are you happy now with the end results for that?
I'm very happy with it, and I've got to admit I like the new monitors. I've got one 4K screen, 32 inches in the middle,
Yeah.
and I've got two 22 inches to 90 degrees at the edges.
That sounds very Minority Report.
It's good for me because for doing work, writing documents and things. You'll probably know if you're writing designs where you need to have lots of reference material open.
I do. I can't. I find it very hard to work now without. I need 3 monitors. I'm used to the
Yeah.
3 monitor setup now. So what I'm adding now, and those in the stream who are very on the ball will see I'm adding a system of potential dividers, and this will allow, hopefully, any combination of a number of the more typical standards. So like the Apple standard or the Samsung standard, etc.
Ah,
But isn't it annoying? They all just don't want to agree. It's almost as if they all want to sell you their own chargers. So
yes. What I will say is, as much as people are very, my stance, I don't have a problem with Apple, and I know certain people do. What I will say is, I do think Apple, there is some mileage in the whole certification process for Apple cables. And I think that's basically because there are too many Chinese sweatshops knocking off dangerous cables.
could be.
Well, no, I mean I mean Apple obviously have their reason that it's a profit reason, but I do think there is some worthwhile that a cable has to meet a certain standard and be approved by them first, because there are a lot of instances of people buying very poorly made cables that do either damage the device or even result in catching fire, etc.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it's easy to be very cynical all the time.
Mm.
Right.
But there's a lot of instances of people being electrocuted, etc., by poor cables.
I don't know if do you think it really stops people it obviously doesn't stop people buying them though at the end of the day.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But it does. But the devices will try and detect approved cables now.
Hmm.
So it is one of those things. I think unfortunately the market is flooded generally with a lot of tat, but that's in all things, not just Apple. That's in
In everything.
yeah.
So you can see this design now, boys and girls, that it's kind of getting there. And the problem is you kind of want, you see this pin up here to also go to the fused 5 volts. So I'm just trying to think how to draw this nicely without a bridge. That's why, you know, sometimes it's worth doing that way, that approach I was taking earlier.
Oh, that's interesting. Becky says she watched iFixit test some cheapo Apple chargers, and the devices worked on them and even turned off with over voltages.
Oh, okay. So they're just getting smarter, or they're the same factories making the originals anyway.
Mm.
Right, so that looks like it could work for now. Let's see if we've got some typical values. So basically, I'm looking at a. Let me show you the website. I'm looking here on the side basically to make it compatible with fast charging and all of those things. So basically saying it won't accept above 500 milliamps without different resistor things. So this one apparently is one of the arrangements from the official Apple iPhone 3GS charger there, those bridges.
Mm.
But then if you see here, there's another one. So we've got dedicated charging port, standard downstream port. So if you just put a 200 ohm resistor between D1 and D minus though, it should just work. But you can see here, so this is the standard one, right? And then you have one for the Apple charger, the Sony charger, and a dedicated charger. So we should be able to do all of these basically. So which one shall we do, guys? Shall we do if I've got to assign some values for these resistors, I'm guessing we should probably go for the standard one here. Because I don't know, most people with Apple stuff's probably just going to use their Apple chargers.
I use generic USB chargers with my Apple stuff, and it works fine.
Just generics.
Yeah.
So where's our D plus? What pin on USB is D plus? I've lost my diagram already. USB pin out. I'm trying to think what movie to watch tonight, Mr. Dalton. The kids want to watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which I'm all for. D minus one
That's
pin
a
two.
dark film for kids.
Is it really? They love it,
Mm.
but they
They
just
love Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
hmm. But then they just love the music, right?
Ah, right. Oh, you could watch the new Mary Poppins.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Mm.
What did you think of the old new Mary Poppins?
It's all right. Biggest problem I had with it is it's the original's too good, and it's trying to hit the same beats as the original Mary Poppins. There's in the same there's equivalents of most of the scenes, but it isn't quite right. But then again, it's such a beloved film. They were onto it was a no-win situation. I think making a new Mary Poppins.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll give that a go and I'll let you know what I think. But there's always a bit that seemed impressive to me was that in the advert it shows
Mm.
her falling into a bath, but showing it was a practical effect rather
It
than a,
was. It was. She basically went down a slide.
which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, that's nice
Yeah.
to see that.
It is
Oh,
nice to see some practical effects because you don't see many of them these days.
Mega USB, Mega USB. Right, so LED, I think, Mr. Dalton. I think an LED just to show something active is probably good enough rather than it failed. So if the
Okay.
fuse pops, if the fuse overloads, your LED will go out. So I think that's pretty good. And I'm going to do it in such a way again to make cutting and pasting maybe a bit easier by dragging that like so. So do you think it's all a bit of a black art, these PCB
Well,
things?
I
I
know
mean, you've watched
I
a few
understand
now.
I understand some of the basics, but not a great deal of it. It was never my forte, that kind of thing.
I think I did it quite late in life, sort of
Mm.
self-taught on these things, and it's good what you can pick up now because of the internet. But can you imagine in the olden days when you had to have a book for everything and
Oh, definitely.
you'd never be able
I,
to do anything?
I will say I have been watching a few of is it Lewis Rossman's videos?
Oh yes, yeah, he's quite
Just
good.
because his soldering skills are so good.
He,
I was watching one of the videos and I showed my wife and she didn't realise how impressive it was when I pointed out actually that he's doing these things under a microscope a lot of the time.
I think you almost have to, don't you?
Mm.
But it's
We,
similar to these things because these aren't the finest ones. If you look at the RetroNet, for example, it's got a finer pitch, the same similar sort of components that he's messing with, but obviously
mm,
more simple passives. Um, they're like just about doable. You know, if you were just doing a one-off, you might be able to do some of them, but those things he's playing with, like ball grid array packages and all of those things, are an absolute nightmare.
mm.
But I guess if you're charging people money, you've got to do it properly, haven't you?
But to be fair, he's got all the proper equipment as well, hasn't he, for doing it? He's got, you know, he's not using a spade-sized soldering iron tip.
No. Right, look, we've got all of our bits here.
Oh, Becky's suggesting you put Death Race 2000 on for your kids.
It is a lovely, lovely movie, isn't it? It's a wholesome movie.
I think that, yeah. Maybe Hellraiser as well.
Bit of Hellraiser.
Yeah.
What was the anybody in the chat? What was the first movie you ever watched that as a kid that you really shouldn't have watched? You know, what movie kind of
Okay,
did
and
you watch
let's
that?
caveat that with non-adult content.
Yes, please. In this sort of climate, R. Kelly and all of this, I'd like to have something. I wouldn't say it's it might be some sort of horror movie, so it's not wholesome, but it's definitely not that other stuff.
Yeah, not smut.
Not smut.
Yes. So horror, action, that kind of thing.
Horror action, yeah.
You know, horror or action, that kind of thing. First one for me, I think it was probably something like Commando.
Yeah, I think that would have been like stuff to do like Jean-Claude Van Damme type movies and stuff,
Mm,
wouldn't it, really?
I think for me it was probably something along the lines of Commando and then like Running Man, those kind of the hardcore action classics that as a kid you just think it's got a little bit, a tiny bit of a brief glimpse of very light smut in it, which titillated you at sort of the age you were watching it. However, then it went straight to someone having their head sort of cut off by a big tough man with a machine gun.
And I remember like Death Race as something I probably watched way later than
Mm.
that sort of age, but it's really corny, isn't it? It's
Well, the original one very much so 'cause it's a 70s movie, so you might not have been as interested in watching, say, that versus something like the Predator or Becky Watership Down. I'll tell you a story about Watership Down. I was in primary school and I was about 6 or 7 years old, and it was in the days leading up to Christmas. So basically, all the teachers were slacking off. So what they did one afternoon was decide to bring us all down to the hall, wheeling the TV and video on its trolley, and they put two films on for us. They put on Watership Down and then The Snowman to a bunch of young primary school kids. And yeah, there wasn't a dry eye in the house from all the kids sobbing.
oh my god. Watership Down, it's like gory, isn't it, if I remember
Oh yeah.
correctly?
Rob's saying Wales playing rugby man.
Where's playing
Right.
rugby man? I did him justice there.
You're kind of Indian, to be honest.
Rugby man. It's a
Yeah,
very similar sound though, to be fair.
it is. It is.
Let's see what this footprint looks like. That's 5 mil. These are huge. I like they've got a scale now. I never noticed that. Ooh, that might do. That might be a bit better. Rugby Man is the new Welsh superhero. So
Mm.
I believe that they were playing Wales were playing England not so long ago because I did hear something from Rob on that. But I think we'd worked out that Wales would have to still repeat the exercise another like 6 times or something to beat England overall over the 150 years or whatever they've been playing.
Right. It's quite interesting being an Englishman living in Wales. When I lived in England, no one really in England could care less about rugby.
That's right. Yeah, we don't really. The Welsh are obsessed with beating the English, and the English don't really care.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the thing I've tried to explain to people. It's they make such a big thing of it, and anywhere in England, and you're like, oh, England beat Wales. Oh, Wales beat England. Oh, all right, yeah.
Well done.
That's rugby, is it? Yeah, there you go. Oh, it's a rugby match, is there? Oh,
What's
okay.
rugby? Oh, it's a
Yeah.
sport.
That's about the extent of it for most people in England. It's it's not the fanatical obsession the Welsh have.
I'm just looking here to see if there's a way I can cut and paste. I can cut and paste the schematic design, but I can't cut and paste the layout. But all right, I'm just going to dig deep, guys, and we're going to make a 5-port module, because that way, when we have this manufactured, we can, we can just make as many PCBs as we want per 5. So I'm going to do it. 1. Oh, what? Eagle, you bastard. Oh, I can just do that. What was the flashing LED guy called in the Running Man?
Oh, Dynamo.
Oh, Dynamo.
Yes.
He was. I think he's probably one of my favourites, really.
He died shortly after.
What, after the movie?
Yeah, the actor did. Yeah.
Oh, sinister.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Roberto.
I need to interject on the English don't care about beating Wales.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, you're telling us that the English do care.
Yeah, you do care. You
Yes.
bloody care. You will care.
Yes, you're telling English people they do care.
Yes, you do care.
All right.
Or people interested in rugby do care.
Whatever makes you sleep better at night.
But that's within, you know for a fact, Rob, that's within the minority of the English. The English are more obsessed with football than rugby.
That's right.
Rob, you looking at this design, how far apart should I be spacing these USB ports? I kind of feel that's acceptable, what I've got on the screen right now, but maybe a bit close.
I don't even have it running at the moment.
Oh,
I missed it all.
who do you think you are?
I've been watching the build up to the rugby, and then you do a live stream.
All right, so that's my fault, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
We will do these things ad hoc.
I am really annoyed if I have to literally do this another 3 times. I've got to, look at the bloody colours they choose. Autodesk, you muppets. Why do you have a grey cursor on a grey background? How does that help anybody? Right, good. Can you imagine if this was a really complicated circuit? You'd be really annoyed trying to do this. I could go on Google and type it in, see if it's possible, but...
So is this the one you were discussing with 15 outputs or whatever?
It is, yeah. But I'm making it in a more reasonable module that has fewer outputs right now. Because
so forgive me as the layman for asking this question. Say if it's a 15 output one, what is the difference between this and a mains supported 15-port USB hub?
This one you made yourself.
Okay. Okay, it just
yeah, that would be the main difference. But do they do 15 ports? Do they? Am I wasting my time here?
I bet you could buy a 15-port USB hub. I mean, I've got
for
a
£20.
2, 3, 4. I've got an 8-port one on my desk.
But this is modular. We could make it into a 1,000-port one if you wanted.
But can't you just plug them into each other?
That's it. Stream over.
Sorry. Just I know that with USB you can plug hubs, you can chain hubs.
You just have to have a bunch of different mains. You could get a mains thing and just keep plugging multiples in. But the idea is that you could just use this for if you've got like a bench, you want to make a piece of actual equipment, and you can just have it on your bench or something.
Not dissing, just as a person who doesn't really get what you're doing exactly there, just who knows USB hubs. Because Amazon have got 15-port USB hubs.
Come on then, let's have a quick look on Amazon.
I mean, it's out of stock at the moment, this one is, but they do have others. If I delved through the thousands available of different hubs. Orico aluminium 15-port USB 3 hub with power adapter.
The Orinoco Flow.
Orico.
Oh look, they've got one here. This is so look. See, this is pretty much the same similar spec to what we're talking here. £499. Nice. What else? Are they look? Are these the ones?
Not that one. There was a cheaper one. It's £120. This one for.
13 ports for 126.
You could buy a 9-port for 21.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you can definitely buy them. You can see that you can buy them.
Hmm.
But I like the idea of, for me, for example, I would build this into a bench kind of PSU setup. So I've got one box that has a bunch of USBs. It has maybe 5 volts out, 12 volts out. And you can just sort of plug various equipments in it.
Okay.
So I'm not going to lay this out this way. This is driving me nuts already. So I'm going to have to see. I'm going to have to bloody learn how to do this properly. And I don't like having to do that. So I'm going to Google this. Eagle copy layout. Block copy layout stuff in Eagle. Ooh. Oh, God, let's look at this. A wall of text, cut and paste answer. And use the commands group, cut and copy to the clipboard. Now open your scan, you'll notice. Open the board you want to place the clipboard. Use display or group cut targets. Oh, it sounds all like bullshit. Hubba bubba. So, Rob, did you do any, what have you been doing with your computers, by the way?
Oh, I've been doing that Amiga board thing again.
Oh, yeah. How far have you got with that then?
So it's nearly done. A guy in Retroman Cave's Discord, Kai, he's offered to do the bill of materials as well. So
Oh, that's
he's
good.
already,
That's always a
he's on the
pain.
case for that.
Ah,
Yeah.
Kai's a good guy.
Yeah, he seems tidy. So
Anyhow.
I reckon by the end of this week, beginning of next week, I'll probably order some boards.
Ooh, very nice. Are you going to get 1 million boards made right away, or are you going to
No,
check the design first?
just 5 to start, I think.
Oh, what do you think of this bit of layout? Should I do that? That looks awesome. I like that. Curvy PCBs. Why, Delilah? Good.
You booking in for Blackpool, Mr.
Oh
A?
yes, Dr. A.
Oh,
Dr.
I haven't
A.
booked anything yet.
Get the Norbreck booked, sir, or we're all booking it.
I'll have to look at the details. So what, we're all going to stay in the actual Norbreck?
Stay in the Norbreck, just don't book anything that involves eating there.
Oh yeah, I stayed there before, but just got the room only.
Yeah,
On a room only basis.
Yes.
Yeah, I booked a room already with no breakfast.
Yeah, I've booked a room.
I thought the other place was okay. Some people didn't.
It
like
was all right, but it was just if you sleeping in the Norbreck would be easier.
Yeah, the tram was a bit of a pain, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. And you didn't, because I thought we didn't really go into town or anything anyway.
Well, I did, and then I got stuck there, if you remember.
I don't remember. Oh yeah, didn't you get not attacked, but something similar?
I ended up hiding in a tram stop, waiting for a tram with some insane guy, hopefully not wanting to walk past him, so he didn't notice me.
Don't hurt me. Not the
No, I've still got the WhatsApp message I sent to people on my phone, and I was told by Craig that it's one of his biggest memories from the weekend. Let me find it.
Was you freaking out?
Oh yeah, it was. Let me find it. That's the.
Are you're searching for it now?
Just go through my WhatsApp history from that weekend. I've still got here.
It's not the face.
Becky wants to know if you make your own PCBs or use JLC PCBs.
Who, me? I use
Mhm.
loads of people. Everybody keeps wanting me to use their free PCBs, so I sometimes use Seed Studio Fusion, and sometimes I don't know if I used. I think I have done JLC PCB.
Okay.
Um,
I am at the tram stop outside our bed and breakfast, and there is a proper screaming loony ranting on a pair of headphones, on a pair of wired unplugged headphones, and I'm genuinely scared.
Mhm.
He was making a phone call to somebody, and he had a pair of like cheap headphones on with the cable dangling down.
right.
He wasn't
What?
actually. They weren't Bluetooth headphones. Trust me, they were just normal, cheapy headphones. But they weren't actually plugged into anything. He was having this conversation with someone,
Oh, with his
and
magic friends.
with his magic friends, and then he started denouncing people in the name of the Prime Minister.
Denouncing people in the name of the Prime Minister. That's an odd one. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, he was. No, he was going, I denounce you in the name of Theresa May and the Conservative government. I was like, okay.
Is he authorized to denounce people?
I don't know. I didn't ask for his credentials personally. The problem was, I was at the prom end of the tram stop, and he was up the far end. So if I wanted to walk up towards the Norbreck, I would have had to walk past him, which I think would have engaged him. So I just stood there very quietly, kind of like, you can't see me. I'm not going to say a thing. I don't want to do anything. I just want to go, be left alone now, please.
I want. Oh, I've got visitors. Hello. Let's invite in the guests.
Wasn't that Blackpool trip when Gary had 20 sausages?
That's right, Gary Nine Sausage.
I was building a house, and then Theo just turned the TV off.
Oh
and he
dear.
didn't save it.
Theo, so why did you turn the TV off in Minecraft?
Rage quit.
Yeah, because he made you so annoyed. That was a rage quit. That genuinely is. So what are you going to do then, Alex? What's the end of upshot?
I don't know what I have to do.
Do you want to do something else instead of playing Minecraft?
Where's Daddy? Where's the Wii U game?
I've hidden the Wii U games
How long?
forever
Why?
till you can learn to play the games without hassling me. How long will that be? They've run off now.
18 years.
18 years. They've just given up with it. Just like now, we'll work out the Minecraft situation among ourselves.
They
Cheers.
even hassled me to play them.
Right. So I'm thinking this is looking kind of pretty good. Yeah, I think oh, bloody bastards left the door open. Right. So I think that yeah, I did see the picture of the many sausages, but I wasn't really aware of the background of that. It was a
Well, I
misordered
think
dish.
Gary ordered what was it? He ordered a meal with 3 sausages and chips, and he wanted more than 3 sausages, so he asked for another 3. And Gary, being Gary, who doesn't particularly worry about money or concentrate that much on what he's spending, just swiped his card irrespectively. However, what the woman behind the till actually thought it to mean was, can I have another 3 portions of 3 sausages and chips?
So you're talking about total of
Like
12
sausages.
sausages?
and 4 portions of chips turned up at the table.
That's amazing. That really is amazing. That must have been mental because she didn't even like. This is what it's like up north because she didn't even like probably question that. It was just like fair enough. That sounds normal.
What I would say to everyone is the chippy behind the Norbreck is outstanding, isn't it, Rob?
It is.
It is good.
It's really busy as well, isn't it? Because everybody wants to go there.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a rip up or a smash. Anybody can see smash here. They changed the friggin' icons. Do you ever hate that where they just for no reason change the icons to pretend like they've updated a product?
Becky, behave.
A literal sausage fest. Smash. I'm going to go with smash and let's see if that's what I want. Yes, it is. Anyone a fan of smash potatoes?
I haven't had it for years.
It's good. It's just as good as I remember it.
It is, but it's not made by Cadbury anymore.
I get just generics now. It's way cheaper. But if you go to Asda or somewhere, they've got some quite expensive, like smash, basically smash clones, but with like flavorings like curry or whatever. But you pay
Have
a
you
lot
tried-
over the odds for those.
Have you tried the ones that they sell now, the American Idaho smash packets? They usually
No.
offer about 50p each. They're lovely.
Mash get smashed. Is that one of the
Idaho
robots?
That's right. Idaho and mashed potatoes. They sell it in Asda, but they have like buttery and garlic and herb and all different flavors.
I'm liking what I'm hearing.
We buy frozen mash pellets.
Oh, I like
The
that.
kids.
That's good stuff.
You just stick them in the microwave.
I've got to be honest. Life's too short to make mashed potato the traditional way.
It's fine as it is. I think I prefer it like the packet stuff.
Yeah. There was actually a funny advert in Viz. It was a spoof of the sex chat line adverts, and it had the smash robots with black bars over their eyes, and it was like 0898. They peel them with their metal knives. He'll tell you how he boils them for 20 minutes. It was kind of.
It sounds like something Viz would do.
It is. It was a proper Viz one. It's brilliant.
So Rob, when you're laying out your Commodore thing, your Amiga PCBs, what kind of are you doing? Any design rule checks on your signal compliance for your memory lines and stuff, or are you just copying an original design?
I've done a direct copy of a board.
Oh, okay. So you've not been tempted to make it better?
No, not yet. I've done it in a product called Sprint, because you can basically trace over a high-res scan of the board.
Oh, that's a shame. Is it exportable to one of these more common packages?
Not really, no. I was considering, perhaps at a later time, doing it, just doing the proper schematics, and then you can sort of make new boards and things.
I just sent you a message on Discord, Andrew, not for public consumption.
I tell you what, you bloody buggers are putting pressure on me now. Come on then, let's do this. So where am I booking this thing? Norbreck Castle.
You don't have to book it. Don't have to book it yet. Just have a look at the note on Discord first.
No, I've looked at it. I'm just which system did you use?
Well, you can use Booking.com or just use the Norbreck directly themselves. I'd use the Norbreck themselves.
You don't trust Booking.com more to.
I think the Norbreck can screw up amply on their own without involving a third party.
Right, let's have a little bit of fun.
Becky, would you come to the Norbreck?
Where is what's the dates?
Okay.
It's all getting
October 11th.
The 11th.
Well, the 11th and 12th, yeah, because it's 12th and 13th.
What month? May.
October.
Oh, so why are you booking it this far in advance?
Because the hotel's actually starting to fill up already, isn't it, Rob?
I was, yeah.
So check in the 11th, check out
the 12th.
Yes, you're right, the 12th. Mash get smashed.
No, 2 nights, yeah. So check out the
13th.
Yeah,
it's 2 nights, yeah.
Oh no. While I'm waiting, I'll do another one of my sad pots. Excuse the slurping. Oh, it looks expensive already.
Yeah, I think I paid 160 quid for 2 nights.
That's if you... Oh. Sorry. Hey, that's all different when I looked at the site. They've changed the site.
Is that just the same price?
Oh no, you're on guestreservations.com.
Okay.
That's not the Norbreck's official site. I don't even know what that is. It says 800 something.
Norbreck Castle. website. Here we go.
It should be Britannia Hotels Group.
Britannia. Was it June, July, October?
October.
11
1800 anthrax.
nights, 2 nights.
I like the review on TripAdvisor where someone says, the member of staff started punching my son in the face and that didn't help matters at all.
120 notes. Are you guys having a laugh?
Well, if you want to stay at the other one, you probably can, but I bet it's not that much cheaper.
Was that
Okay.
a night or for 2 nights?
For 2.
160 for 2. I paid in Norbreck.
Yeah, because you've done the flexible rate like most of us, haven't you? Just in case.
Okay, let's pretend we're doing this, and then
I've
actually
done
maybe
it.
do it.
That I can't cancel it now.
We should have done. But also you've got a double room, haven't you, Rob?
What's the
Yeah.
champagne break? What's the difference?
They give you a bottle of grotty champagne and a voucher for the restaurant that you don't have to use. You can do the 120 rate if you want. That is with a single bed.
Is Gary coming this time?
Gary has booked a room as well.
Ah.
In the same place?
In
Second
the
time
Norbreck.
in his life without his wife.
No. Rachel.
Oh, she's coming this time, is she?
Yeah, Rachel. To be fair, we need Rachel because of the.
The
he couldn't.
sausage.
Well, no, he couldn't cross the road unaccompanied, could he?
So interesting. So yes, you can book. So these are the regular. Is there better rooms, or is that's my only option?
No, you pick the room.
Enhance your stays afterwards. Is that right?
Yeah, you. Oh, I'm a few seconds behind you, of course, aren't I? So after you pick the rate, you can then find the rooms on the next page. It's a bit arse about face.
So I can have a short break with myself. I had about 6 beds in my room last time. Pay on stay. So okay, so I'm gonna just. Oh, I see. You click see rooms.
Yeah, I've booked we've booked the pay on stay thing, even though it's a little bit more just in case.
Right, I'm going to head off now because the rugby's kicking off.
Enjoy.
5 minutes. I will. I'm going to have to catch up on this stream later.
Yes, I'll be finishing my design hopefully soon. Have
a think about it. Put it on your radar.
I can't be. I'm just gonna go for bog standard shitty little room. Because what's the difference between the executive room? Let's have a look.
It's a bigger, more spacious, upgraded room.
I remember not spending any time in the room at all. Do you know what I mean? At least when I was in the Norbreck the first time round, it was so much running. What random stuff could I order? A travel cot. What's check-in time? Maybe I'll get the early check-in. No, you don't need that. Because you're not going to really have any luggage. What difference does it make?
And also your car's parked literally outside the door.
Oh, can I book the parking?
You do that when you get there.
I think everything as standard, really. Enhance. Right. Well, I'm gonna fill this off on the right. Now, is anybody familiar with Eagle? Because I want to know now, how do I cut and paste my design without having to basically redraw everything? It wants in spontaneous payment, Mr. Dalton. In spontaneous payment.
Well, that's why I've done the flexible cancel it if you need to, just in case.
And how much was that one? There's a little bit more, was it?
It's like £20 more if you don't want to pay for it right now and pay for it on when you get there. So it's up to you, but I think it's worth considering.
I will need to contact the organisers to see what is going on.
Yes.
Right, I think this design could be just a tad slimmer by moving this R1 inboard a tiny amount. So what would you be looking forward to doing in Blackpool, Andrew? You've been there now a few times.
Twice. I just like the bants.
Because
Is
someone
it,
was
is it,
asking me if I was going to go to Manchester, and they're going, "You going Manchester, Manchester, Manchester?" And I'm like, "Nah, can't be asked. I think
I'm
I'm
looking forward to
expoed
Manchester
out."
actually because I'm going to go to Manchester and Blackpool. The reason is it's for me it's seeing people I don't tend to see in person very often.
Uh-huh.
It's more the social aspect, which I think a lot of the community enjoy.
I wouldn't go for the arcade games because you can kind of play those anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello. Somebody's a knocking at my door. The robot's head broke. Come on, let me see this. The robot's head broke off. Well, you just sit it on top, okay? For now, and we'll glue it on a little bit later. Can you shut the door, though? Actually, can you put this in the recycling for me as well? Thank you. Right. What was R1 in the end? Oh, R1 is a LED current limiting resistor. Give that a value. Okay. Let's get this done. Right, I think that's pretty admirable design. Oh, Mr. Dalton, are you still there?
I'm here.
There was something I watched earlier, and it was an interview between Jean-Claude Van Damme and an interviewer guy, and it was why he didn't want to play the Predator.
There's a lot of stories about that, and whether or not Jean-Claude Van Damme's explanation is the truth or an approximation of the truth.
Oh, you think it might be Thibbs's?
He had his own spin on why he didn't want to be the Predator.
Well, I heard, and I purposely, by the way, anyone watching the stream, severed the forward and backward annotation in my drawing, which is always a bit naughty. Don't do that. I heard, so what he said was that he just didn't like the suit. He was really claustrophobic in it,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't happy with the ability to do some of the stunts in it because he's obviously a stuntman at the time.
Right.
And he said the chap who ended up doing it ended up hurting himself, and they ended up changing the suit design anyway, which could be true because they did definitely change the design, didn't they?
They did change the suit design. However, the closer explanation I heard is he was basically miffed because he wasn't, his face wasn't visible, is long and short of it.
Ah. But even though he was only at that point in his career just an extra.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't one time Arnie going to be the Predator, I believe.
No.
Oh, that's all just not
Arnie was
true.
always going to be playing Dutch.
And what's his full name? Dutchy's Originals.
So look.
That sounds like an interesting factoid I've never considered before.
Alan Dutch Schaefer, Major Alan Dutch Schaefer.
Alan Dutch Schaefer.
Yeah, but I can't imagine. Can you? I'm not being funny, but an action hero, if he'd gone by the name, hey, Alan.
Oh yeah, Alan. It doesn't seem to be a very action hero-y name, to be fair. I agree.
No.
I'm just looking now to see if there's any way to make this design workable without using a bottom layer. Anybody in the chat, the stream chat, do you think it would be a pain in the bum to have to wire up between, say, pad 1 and 3 and 2 and 4, just parallel up all of those manually? Or would you rather just fling the extra cost to have a double-sided PCB to do it? I'm going to pretend I'm laying it out as a double-sided PCB and see what happens anyway. Oh, why isn't it? Oh, it's not letting me select a bottom layer for some reason. Is that because I've severed the connection? Yeah. So, Andrew, remember a while ago we were talking about some famous people and they actually died,
Yes.
probably as a result of us talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds morbid, but which Spice Girl do you think will be the first to go?
I think. Ooh. Hmm. I think it will be Sporty.
Because what? Because of the for ironic reasons.
I
Actually, I can't even
think
remember which. Is that Mel B? No, Mel C or something.
Mel
That's
C.
where you don't really see much of her though, do you?
I think. Yeah. I think she'll just be like, oh, she's dead one day, like one of those. I think that's how she'll die. It'll just be a dead kind of thing.
Winsome hacks. I do like
Which do I
winsome
think or
hacks.
which do I wish? Oh dear me.
If you had some sort of
Oh,
genie power.
well, there's a modern attack helicopter. Well, sorry, there's an 80s attack helicopter looking for a new owner at the moment. So.
Hang on a cotton picking minute. These lines aren't connecting up, are they? When I sort of zoom in and have a look, these because there's no annotation. These pesky what? No, that'll be wrong anyway. But look, this 5 volt. Oh, oh, I see. Because I've basically tried to break the rules here, it's coming to bite me in the ass. 5V. Yeah, now I've got to do it.
Oh, how did your hook and block stuff work out in the end? I know it arrived.
It's good, yeah, really good. It came, and I'm still working our way through it. To be honest with you, it was a whole freezer full of meat.
Mm.
But I've not found anything I haven't liked really. I would have I'd have butchered some stuff slightly differently now if I'm doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe getting myself more chopified things, making my own chops and stuff. But apart from that, no, it's really good. Have you had any hook and block experiences since, or?
Not since, no. As you know, I'm being good with my diet, so.
But meat could be part of it.
Well, it will at some point. It will, as I alter what I eat in the next week or next couple of weeks. I've kickstarted myself, and then I'm going to start going into more of a pure protein type diet, and then combining that with gym.
Who's Jim?
Exactly.
Actually, I would like to discuss health. If anybody in the chat is interested in health, say yeah. No, I want to discuss some health things I've been thinking about recently. I'll just finally do some final eyeballing of this design because I think this design's ready. My only worry would be maybe the current carrying capacity of these traces, but I don't know. I think it's fine. Because
However, I would say something I have discovered in my preparation with my diet and keeping calories and carbohydrate is the main thing I'm focusing on keeping down.
yeah, it's a main calorie driver really as well, carbohydrate, isn't it?
I have found a honey barbecue sauce.
That's a sugar-free one?
Per 100 grams, 15 calories per 100 grams.
Okay, seems all right.
0.09 grams of fat per 100 grams. So not even 1/10 of a gram of fat. Per 100 grams, it's 3 grams of carbohydrate. It's basically it's a near 0-calorie barbecue sauce.
Well, that's brilliant. Because sometimes you need those condiments. You know what I use?
Yes.
I use an awful lot of celery salt.
I like celery salt.
It makes so much stuff bearable, basically.
Well, I tell you the one you ought to have a look at, and I don't know what the... Oh, there's no sugar in it, so that might be all right. There's a very nice one, if you like celery salt, called an old-fashioned one in every supermarket sell it, called Aromat by Knorr.
Oh yes, that is something that is being discussed in our office actually, because we've been adding it to popcorn, believe it or not.
What, Aromat?
Mm.
I like it. It's very nice on... I like it on most grilled meat. If you want it plain, if not like in a proper spicy sauce or anything, I find it's very nice just add it like salt or pepper before you grill it.
Aromat.
Yeah.
Right, so that's looking good. Oh, so Wintermax is checking if any Spice Girl is a druggie. Read about this. She was injured in December 2018, and so she broke several ribs and severed her hand. Ooh. So that means she should go up. Well, that makes her more likely, doesn't it, to get her on the old chart?
I think some of that may be to do with her ex-husband, though.
Oh, okay. Enough said.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so okay, I think this design's done, guys. This is ready to be basically sent to be manufactured. The only thing I would think could be useful if there was a couple of holes for mounting at the back, because you've got the USB stick out at the front, so they're going to go through a slot in something, but you're going to want maybe some holes in the back. And I'm just going to make some arbitrary size holes here.
I'll tell you what's very, very nice, but unfortunately it's a little high in sugar, there's a Schwartz sriracha powder you can buy.
Ooh.
Which is very nice, but it is, per 100 grams, it's 44 grams of it is carbohydrate, 30 grams of it is sugar.
That's, yeah, you've got to be careful.
So it's one-third sugar, basically.
Sriracha.
Sriracha sauce is really interesting, actually. The wholesale price of sriracha sauce has never gone up.
That's right, yeah, there was some fascinating facts, isn't there, about it?
Yeah,
It's never been, like, protected or something as well, like the trademark?
It's not that it's not protected. I believe it isn't protected, but the founder has set a price, and that's the price that will always remain.
Amazing.
Because he doesn't want to make himself. He's already rich, but he doesn't. I've got the article here. David Tran, his name is. He's never once raised the wholesale price of sriracha. The goal isn't to be a billionaire; it's just to make enough fresh sauce that everyone who wants it can have it. Nothing more.
That's nice, isn't it? That's a very nice thing to do. It's a bit like me giving all my stuff onto GitHub, like I'm going to do now. Let's upload this, guys, so you can have a play. Mega usper. Mega usper. And if you haven't been to it, just go to GitHub, type backofficeshow.org.co.uk/Andrew, and you can get it. Just trying to find this stupid thing. Look how awful this interface is. It's like, makes you want to scream. Just going to see if I can actually drag and drop onto this window. Save me a bit of effort. Upload files. I'm going to see if I can select this one. So how do you just...
Sorry, I must go to the tip later, so I can stay for another half hour or so.
That's all right. I think we're nearly done.
Of course, it being March, my tip is not open beyond 4:30, even at a weekend.
So I'm going to commit that. I'm going to paste into the thing, guys, the parts you will need from eBay. The eBay. Have you got a lot to tip today?
Got as well cardboard, basically. as is the way. I've done a load of ordering from Amazon, getting everything ready to sort my office out, and now I have the appropriate side mountain of cardboard. I wonder, actually, I was thinking the other day, are Amazon the largest purchaser of cardboard in the world?
They certainly leave a lot of it outside my house.
Mm,
Right, so that looks like an absolute bloody mess. How do you sort the formatting in this? Hey, flock of sea cows. There we go. So flock of sea cows, go to back of this show, /mega USB to see the mega USB design on the back office show GitHub. Right. So Andrew, I want to talk to you about Elf a little bit. It's a brief one. Because I'm trying to gel onto an idea because I haven't done any running since for 5 months basically, and
right.
I am so demotivated to even start it. I've not signed up basically. Normally I sign up for loads of things,
You normally
and
do your boot camp and stuff, don't
I
you?
still do that, but I just don't. I haven't signed up for any events. So by this time of year, I'd have already been like done a couple of 5Ks and a 10K or something. And I would have a major event in May, like Tough Mudder, but again, not signed up for it. So I've not trained through the winter. So yeah, ended up with 5 months, no training, not able to do a pull up. So I was looking in the news not so long ago, and I came across this article. Did you see this article?
Nothing yet.
It's
Give it
the
a second to
one
catch up.
about Simon Pegg.
Oh, where he's got himself in shape, hasn't he? Big time.
And I was reading about this, and the thing about it that really struck me is that so I'm kissing now 80 kilos, but 78 was a nominal weight for me, and it was always been my target to get to kind of down to like the 71, whereas he's gone from
Hmm
78 to 69 into a single digit body fat. And I thought, okay, last year was a year I did all my new personal bests for running, yeah, for everything, for 1 mile, 5K, 10K, half marathon. And I'm really demotivated right now. And if I start the running, I'm probably not going to meet those personal bests. I'm going to feel even more miserable and even more demotivated for it right now. So I thought maybe I might set myself a new health target just for this year.
Right.
So if you just keep doing the same stuff over and over again, right, running, you're going to get maybe bored of that. I mean, running will be part of this, of course. But I thought I'm speaking to Coach Ali, you know Coach Ali, to try to say,
Yes.
okay, set me up with a program for this. Let's do it. I mean, Simon Pegg for this was still doing 35K of running a week anyway, but it's just you're not trying to do it under some sort of timed conditions anymore.
Yeah.
But Electron Ash says, yeah, I wouldn't say he looks healthy.
No.
Guys, it's easy to say people don't look healthy, but if you go abroad and you go to countries where people do a lot of physical activity, they all look like this as standard. This is probably standard for healthy human. Um,
Mhm.
Western physiques, I don't think are. I mean, it's if you go and see a lean tiger in the wild, that's kind of is how you're supposed to be. But yeah, no, I think he doesn't look like what's his name, the guy Christian Bale. Christian Bale was definitely looking very ill in
No,
those. But
that was the machinist. He went too far,
machinist.
didn't he?
But you can see Simon here has been doing a lot of working out. He's just got musculature and tone underneath there. But the
Hmm
physique is the physique of somebody who have a look at a distance runner or something like that. You don't have massive muscles and you don't carry massive fat normally. But I think that's all right.
I even if I lost, a great deal of weight, I'd never want that kind of physique. I wouldn't want to look that kind of skinny.
Well, I think it depends what you want to do, doesn't it? I mean, if you
Mm,
if you're looking like that and maintaining it because you are going out and like um smacking out marathons or something, then it's good. I think you once you stop exercising, you'll eventually just go back to whatever physique will suit your sedentary lifestyle. But I think you've still got to work
mm,
at it. But like I say to most people who say things like that, they don't want to go to the gym because they don't want to be buff and all that. I'm always like, well, you're probably about
No.
X stone overweight anyway. I tell you what, you go to the gym and we'll all
Yeah.
tell you when you start looking too buff. How about that, shall we? Because someone's like
Yeah.
underestimating how much work is even involved
Yeah.
to
Well,
start to look it.
that's my thing. I'm starting the gym again, but my objective is to put muscle on, because the more muscle you gain, muscle burns fat. So the more muscle I gain, the higher my calorie consumption will be. Therefore, the greater my calorie deficit will be. So it will accelerate weight loss by having more muscle.
It might help your metabolism for sure, but
Hmm.
it might not too. But so that's why you're not relying on it. You've got your
No.
diet. The diet's going to be the main driver for it.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, so I think a lot of all these things though, it's about being in the right headspace for getting on and doing it and finding a reason to do it. So I'm kind of thinking maybe that'll be my reason to see, okay, let's see if we can start leaning down a bit. And I'm not saying I'll get there, but it's just you gotta put your line in the sand, haven't you, somewhere that you're gonna try to reach. But yeah, interesting. But there's a lot of chat in the comments, and
Electronash, I do want to get fit, but I have problems with leaving the house. Well, get yourself a cross trainer at home.
don't you wish though you could get fit just by eating crisps and masturbating? You'd probably be like so healthy.
I think we'd all be. You'd look like Arnie.
Oh dear. Right then, everybody, and on that bombshell, that's how you did it, Bazza. That's how you ready salted. Oh, one hand in the crisps, one hand in down your white front. Oh dear. It makes me want to go and have some ready salted crisps now. Not the other thing. I'm at the age where I can't be bothered with that. That's too much effort. So maybe you would get fit doing it.
It's like someone said, when you're a kid, you want to spend all your time staying up all night, not going to bed early, and going out and partying. And now you hit that age, you're like, oh, Saturday night, I get to stay and have an early night.
Yeah, those things are like punishment, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's the life goals now.
Yeah, it's flipped over. So I hope anyway, anybody watching, you've got lots of amazing things planned. I mean, it's already nearly 2:30. The day is already bled away. But I feel we've designed a USB doofer, which is quite cute. I could do some bridge rectifier for tomorrow. And I told my wife that I was going to be doing some stuff, filming some footage for next week's videos, but I've not done any of those. So maybe next week we'll be getting some videos that are prepared the night before. What do you call that, Andrew? Remember, like you'd be doing that homework the night before. I don't think we had a word for doing that, but it was just
No,
what you did.
no,
Last second
no.
rush job. Oh, oh. Becky says egg and chips for dinner. I like that. How about ham, egg, and chips? That sounds
That's a
nice.
classic. That's a classic.
Oh, and Electronash says full bridge. That vid was quite scary, by the way, but it does show that it's possible to mess with the mains without certain death. Ash, I'm going to be doing some. There'll be another video tomorrow. I think we'll explore it a little bit more. And Bazza says beans and waffles. Ooh, I mean, you say waffles, are they bird's eye potato waffles?
So Baz, are they waffly? Yeah, that's right. Are they waffly versatile?
They're a waffly kitchen tile.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you want something interesting, go on iPlayer. They had Inside the Factory this week or last week, and they showed how they make bird's eye potato waffles.
Ooh, I shall be. And I'm going to go now and entertain my children by watching, introducing them, I think, to Aliens, because I think that was a good movie. They'll enjoy it.
They love that. Why don't you start with Aliens? They can witness the horror of the chest burster and the whole impregnation.
How about The Abyss? I mean, that's almost okay with kids, apart from Michael Biehn's character cutting his slitting his
Yeah.
arms. Was it
Yeah,
graphic? I
well-
can't even remember.
A bit, but they'd probably enjoy it.
Oh, Becky, cod roe on toast. No. I hated that growing up, having to have cod roe, and I just refuse to have it now as an adult.
Actually, on a more serious note, try them on a film called The Monster Squad.
The Monster Squad.
Yes. Do they like Goonies, things like that?
I tried to get them to watch Goonies, and they were not having it at all.
Well, you would enjoy Monster Squad. Monster Squad is a bit like Goonies, but they fight Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the werewolf, and the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, that sounds good. Let's have
Hmm.
a look. Oh, Becky said I probably had them cooked wrong. Probably. Becky, I should retry these. I'm going to retry them when next time I go on some sort of business place which has got a fancy restaurant. I'll order it. Look, sophisticated. Crispy pancakes are lovely. I do like crispy pancakes. Hello. Yes.
Minecraft with you.
You want to play Minecraft with me? When I finish? When I finish?
Yeah.
All right. Then tell the boys and girls at home to have a good weekend and not get into too much trouble.
Don't get into too much trouble.
And they're allowed to have a good weekend?
Yes.
And what else should they do?
Um,
What should they have for their tea?
burger
A burger. Ooh. And with it, with any sauce or anything?
and cheeseburger.
Oh, what about chips?
Fish and chips.
With their cheeseburger?
No.
Just fish and chips.
Or burger
Or a burger.
or cheeseburger.
Okay. What about sauce? Are they allowed sauce with their chips?
Yes.
What sauce?
Mayonnaise and ketchup.
What, mixed together?
Yes.
Oh, nice. There we go. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a wonderful Saturday and enjoy your burger with tomato sauce and mayonnaise. Bye bye.
And cheeseburger.
And cheese and a cheeseburger on top.